So, all right, so instead of telling them to show you a picture of what they want, tell them to paint a picture in your mind, what they're looking for. So now they don't have to show you exactly what, because you're only telling me they don't know what they want. 99% of them don't know what they want. So if you let them paint the picture, so tell me, what does your ideal picture look like? What kind of elements do they have? If you're to walk out there today, what does this picture has to have? What are you looking for? And then you say, okay, so basically this is the art you're looking for. Here's all the elements that you have in mind. This is what is the purpose of the art. What should the art do for you? It should enhance the visual imagery of my room. What is the biggest difference this piece of art will make? Okay. What is the best case scenario? So you're going to ask some questions to them that makes you direct to them to get the perfect piece of art. Does that make sense?
Yes, it
All right.
does.
Nadia, doing it all, right?
Yeah.
All right. So one thing I would say, the most important list is going to be your not-to-do list. Ditch your to-do list. To-do list doesn't work. I never carry a to-do list. Okay?
How do you remember what you have to do? You make another list to remind you.
So I have my most important victories for the day, short-term, long-term victories, my drivers for the day, my projects for the day, my priorities, and the people. And so I have a different set of, these are the things that I need to focus on. Unless and until I'm done on these things, I'm not going to pay attention to the other things that come and happen along the way.
Okay.
So your to-do list, you want to first work on your not-to-do list.
I'm not understanding how to do that. I'm sorry.
All right, I have a workshop video on it, instead of spending more time understanding. But your not-to-do list is basically things you need to stop doing so that it makes you room for things that you want to do. So we have, a tool called the Work Analyzer, the 30-day Work-Life Balance Analyzer. We take an inventory of everything you do with your time over a period of 30 days. Then we segregate it in 4 categories: like, love, hate, can't. What you like to do, what you love to do, what you hate to do, and what you can't do. And we pretty much get rid of or delegate your like, hates, and can'ts. And you're left with only you love to do.
But now is this the kind of format that you want, kind of question and go? Is that okay with you? Or
Sure.
hold that questions?
No.
How do you then, you said you kind of focus on the things that you love to do, but what if like for my job, I have to do the things I don't like to do or that I'm not good at or that, so how do you then?
Well, you make an inventory, and we have done this with many people who've been in jobs before, and you say, okay, I'm more productive doing this, and it will impact your bottom line for the company. So if you're working for XYZ company, you say you're going to see better results if I focus on these activities. You're going to get more bang for your buck.
Okay.
And then, you present that, and you actually not just tell them, but you measure it, take the results, and then when you go with the results to the person who's in charge of you, your boss or your supervisor, and say, these are the results I get by doing these things, these are the results I get by doing these things. You tell me where you want me to focus.
Interesting. Okay.
And I have a tool for that. It's called the Good Job Measurement.
Okay. Really?
So, so I have lots of tools. So, what we have I have is a toolbox, a tool shed, and a tool belt. So in your tool belt are things that you carry every single day, like your phone, your computer, your stuff that you need to use. So we have certain tools that you want to use every single day. And you want to stay positive, you want to stay energized, you want to stay charged, you want to stay focused. So these are tools that you carry with you every single day. Then you have your toolbox, where you go in and you carry, so you pull out some of the tools when you're in a meetings or present, like the deal seal. You want to close the sale, that's something that you pull out when you're going on a meeting to close the sale, right? So those are tools that goes in a toolbox. Then you have a tool shed, which is highly specialized tools that you're looking for, like the one-year breakthrough. That's a tool shed. You're looking to achieve a 3-year vision in 1 year. That requires high specialization and things that you want to do. So look what's in your tool belt, what's in your toolbox, what's in your tool shed. Or are you missing all three? I have all of those if you need it. Okay? And you can come see me and buy them too. I'm just kidding. So Jackie, selling yourself. So again, selling yourself, what do you want to sell about yourself? Tell me, give me an example.
My accomplishments and what I can do for another organization.
Okay? The best way to sell yourself is not to sell yourself, but to sell people on their needs, their wants. So you give enough, you've probably heard this Zig Ziglar saying, if you give enough people what they want, you get what they want, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so find out what people want and then provide a solution of value on the spot. Most people say, this is what I do, this is what I do for a living, can we get together? And that person doesn't even know whether or not what you do fits what they want, right? So if you find out and discover, the best sale is in fact finding, is in discovery. So the more discovery, and probably she can tell you that as a voucher, when you're in financial planning, that's one of the biggest tools that you use to make more sales, is your fact finder, right? So unless and until you do a thorough job on the fact finder, you don't have a sale, right? And even compliance takes you out, right? If you make a sale.
Compliance drills you. Make sure you're doing the right thing.
That's great.
So the best way to sell yourself is not to sell yourself, but to do a good job on fact finding and discovery and ask a lot of questions. Okay? So you want to do that and ask great questions. The world belongs to the people who ask great questions, not to the ones that have all the answers. So ask great questions. Staying focused. And two of you had follow-up. So there's a tool called followup.cc.
Really? Followup.cc?
Yeah,
Is that an app? Or what?
that's a tool. Yeah, that's an app tool, whatever you want to call it.
Oh.
But it doesn't work for everybody. It depends on how you follow up. But the best way to do follow-ups is to have a system of using your calendar. Your smartest and most beautiful weapon that you have, and the most important productivity tool you have is your calendar, right? But most of the time, what I see on calendars is things that you have appointments, meetings, that's all you have on your calendar.
Yeah.
What about time with your daughter? What about your piano skills? What about this skill? What about reading a book? What about, exercising?
Yeah, I do it.
That's all there.
I put on gym, I
Me
put
too.
everything else in my calendar, my whole.
Put all this stuff in your calendar.
I
So what if you have two separate calendars? Are you suggesting that we merge them? Because I have a personal and then I have my business calendar.
That's fine, you can keep it separate as long as you're using a calendar,
Oh, okay.
as long as you're using it.
I tried that once and it got ridiculous. It got absolutely obnoxiously ridiculous.
Because you got probably too much stuff. You got, you come.
I couldn't even read the calendar after a while. It was
Yeah,
not useful.
because you have too much on your list. You're trying to do too much. Less is more.
Let me ask you that. Go ahead, Nadia.
We're sharing the same.
I mean, I guess what I would like to, I feel like in my position that being in sales, that you have to work like ridiculous hours, or you're always on the clock, so they say. I mean, how has that trend changed since I don't know?
Now, let me tell you two
60?
statistics that will shock you.
Yeah. Okay.
88% of the sales are done by 10% of the salespeople in the nation.
That was specific. I knew. Yeah.
Okay, so if 88% of all the sales is done by that many people, why not get more at doing more and better sales in less time? So majority of the time, it's like, you're doing, for example, let's say somebody's making phone calls, is on the phone making 500 phone calls.
Yeah.
And you're only reaching 20 people. I had this in a credit company, when I was coaching them, and this is a credit debt collection company. So they're like a team of 12 people, and they're making like 4,000 calls, and they're getting 2 people interested. I said, this is nuts, and this is crazy. You could be making quality calls of 30 to 40 to people that you know, and get the same result, and you don't need that many salespeople.
Right.
So it's again looking at what are the activities your sales team is doing. Also looking at who are you chasing. Majority of the time, You're chasing anybody and everybody.
Yeah.
When you're chasing anybody and everybody, you get nowhere.
Well, another, to Nadia's point is that, you know, I have a to-do list that people need to reach every day. We use a CRM in order to plan our activities and to follow up with that. But I feel like because I'm calling and I have to do so many callbacks, but I'm adding on just as many new prospects into my funnel that it gets so overwhelming. You have so much then to do every single day that like I dread going to work. So like I have 50 million calls I have to make today.
Right, but what is your boss looking for? He's looking for sales.
Well,
So we can get sales a different way. We can get those
How?
numbers. You're bringing me in, and I'll tell your team.
okay. All
I
right.
have to look at the numbers, I have to look at
Okay.
how your company is doing it right now. Once I get an understanding, I'll say, you know, you're doing it this way, you're getting to this result. If you did it this way, it will take less time and you will get a better result.
Okay. I mean, how has trends changed? I mean, I hear a lot about like social selling as well. And how does that fit into the traditional, I guess, quadrants of phone calls, networking, on-site, and
Every company is different. You have to start with, if you want to change the forest, you start with a tree. Most companies don't even start there. They don't even know what tree they're trying to change.
100%.
So if we try to narrow down, the narrower your niche, the bigger your paycheck. The narrower your customer base, the bigger your sales. So, you know, we start looking at, okay, what are we ideally looking? You don't only have 1,500 hours in a year, right? So if it's you running your company,
Is that really it?
that's it.
Wow.
So, and if you're trying to chase so many customers and so many people, you just don't have the time. So you decide, okay, if I only had 1,500 hours, how much time I want to dedicate to this, how much time I want to dedicate, whose customers which I should be chasing, what is the profile of the customer, and you build a smaller database.
Kind of like the ABC method, you know, these are my A customers, these are my B customers. that type
Right.
of thing.
But even within the A, I just give the customer a name. Let's say your customer is John. Tell me a story about John. Who is John? I do this many times in my workshops. I write detailed stories. So I can share one story we just wrote this morning about John. And this was with a mortgage company. And this was a big mortgage company, been in business for 40 years. And they were just going all over the place. And so their John was a person who wants to buy a $350,000 mortgage. Is a W-2 employee, just moved in 2 years with the company and is looking for a home to buy and doesn't know what kind of home he will qualify for and whether he'll be able to buy this home and what kind of down payment would he need. And he came to an overseas country or is in a W-2, you know, for just two years. He's a brand new employee in a major company. So I said, where is all your communication going? He said, to the homeowners. So you're looking for a first-time homeowner who's never bought a home, and you're targeting to people who already own a home?
Doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense, right? So I asked him, where would John be? He said, buying some of the major companies where there are rental complexes. How much of your communication has gone to that area? Zero, nil, zilch. So none of your ideal prospects know even what is that you want to sell. Everybody, you know, out there says, I want to make a buck, so I'll go anywhere, everywhere to make a buck. And you go broke. Because the road to anywhere leads to the town of nowhere.
Oh, that's a good one.
Right? Okay. Staying focused and follow. So I'll tell you a true story, and read this in Entrepreneur magazine. Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, and Bill Gates Jr. They were in a restaurant having dinner together, and there was this journalist of Entrepreneur magazine who was in the same restaurant and happened to eat. So this is a great opportunity to get three of them all together. And he goes there and asks them, if you were to attribute your success to one word, just one word, what would it be? Hands down, all of them said one word.
Focus.
Focus.
Dun, dun, dun.
We are so distracted with everything that's going on.
Multitasking.
Millennial.
Okay, now let me define
All
multitasking.
that, my face.
Can anybody tell me that even multitasking exists?
No, it does not.
No, you can only do one thing at a time.
Okay, so what is multitasking?
Your attention going to different areas. Your attention is here, the phone rang and you're looking at, text came in and you're looking here and
So how am I paying attention to these two tables?
and then you got 1 second here, 1 second there, 1 second.
Okay, so what is it, what am I doing?
Wasting time.
Right, but what am I doing from 1 second here to 1 second there?
Focusing
Not
on
focus,
focus.
you're changing, shifting your focus back and forth.
So I'm switching, right?
Yeah, switching.
So there is no such thing as multitasking, it's switch tasking.
That's funny.
Yeah, but that's the term that people.
But I'm giving you the real term.
Yeah.
And you know how much money is being wasted in multitasking? Anybody might think this was done by Bassix International. A study.
in the millions. Billions. Billions? Really? What are
15 billion. A million billion.
936 billion dollars.
We just think we-
What?
But what do you mean? What are they spending the money on?
No, I think what he's.
Money is being wasted in
Oh, I
productivity.
see.
Yeah,
Productivity
because you're
costs.
not being focused.
Because here's
Yeah.
the reality. It takes you 28% more time.
Right, get anything done. To get anything done.
No, to go back to the same task. So let's say you switch from here to there. Now to go back, you have to go to the beginning of that
Figure
task
out
that
where
you
you
started.
were.
You associate
To figure
yourself.
out where you started and then start. You can't just start from where you left off.
Right.
You have to go, because it's our human
Yeah.
mind, we have to go back to the beginning.
Well, with cell phones now, I mean, my God, you're being interrupted how many times during
No,
each
because
task?
you allow it. I have people that get
You
mad
allow
at me because I don't respond to their text.
Yeah, my voicemail says I'll call you back on Friday and people give me a hard time.
I'm like, people scream at me because I don't, I got my text.
Not work calls.
Hello?
No, not work, just whatever, you know,
So-
like, if it's
so-
not important, I'll call you back Friday.
Alright, so the other type of tasking is background tasking. So you're on your treadmill listening to music. What's that? What's that kind of tasking? It's something is happening in the background, you're driving and talking.
Yeah.
Driving and texting is not background tasking.
Driving and talking is dangerous, because have you ever been like talking to somebody and then you like don't realize how far you've actually gone?
Because that person is screaming at you, you had to fight it, you're
And you're like, oh
other
my god, I passed my exit.
I passed my exit 20 minutes ago. By the way, I have to make a U-turn.
Alright. Public speaking. You had public speaking, right? So stand up and give me your 30 seconds.
No, I'm not gonna do that. That's. I have to.
Come on, you want to be, I'm gonna do role play right now and give you value.
Friends.
Okay, 30 seconds of what?
Introduce yourself, your 10-second elevator pitch.
Okay, hi, I'm Carmen Bernard.
Wait, before, let me just time you.
Oh my.
Oh, you did it really well.
Carmen, you get 2 extra seconds to think about what you
Should I
want to
do
say.
my presentation?
Yeah, do your presentation.
So when somebody asks me what I do, okay.
What do you do, Carmen?
Who are you? Somebody asked me about that today, so. Let's see how long this takes.
Give me one.
Wait, he's multitasking to find the thing.
Alright,
He's
go
on
ahead.
Facebook.
It's not multitasking.
He's checking.
Hi, my name is
Switch
Carmen
task, right?
Bernard. I'm with a company called Legal Shield. Legal Shield has been around for 45 years. We have been protecting small businesses, individuals, families from legally and from identity theft.
Okay, so first of all, you didn't use your 30 seconds. That's bad. Second of all, I'm a 5-year-old and I didn't understand your message.
Okay.
So let's start again. One more time.
Huh.
I'm a 5-year-old kid.
Okay.
You're talking to me.
A 5-year-old kid won't understand what identity theft is. Maybe they do. I don't know.
Well, you make it that way. So
Okay.
you make it sound, you know, what happens to me when my identity is stolen?
Okay. Oh, okay. So, hi, my name is Carmen Bernard. I'm with a company called Legal Shield. We've been around for 45 years assisting people with identity theft and legal issues. Have you heard about identity theft? Do you know that identity theft is the largest epidemic right now that we have? Year to date.
All right, your time's up. All right, so what I would say is. All right.
Good job.
All right. So what you want to do is tell a story
Okay.
and make it as simple as possible and focus on the value. What does it do for your customer, not what you do.
Okay, what it does is, it prevents you from going to jail. Because that's the truth. If you look at the statistics, identity theft, people don't find out
So it
about-
prevents me if my identity is stolen?
Yeah, a lot of people don't know
A
that.
5-year-old will get that.
Yeah, you don't want to go to jail, you have to be proactive in protecting your identity.
Okay,
That's it.
so see, that's what you want to say.
Oh, okay, got it, okay.
So how do you prevent me from, why would I be going to jail? You make me curious, why would I go to jail? What's
I
the reason?
get it.
Why?
You're saying I help people prevent them from going to jail. Oh my
Yeah,
God, how?
how? What
Why?
is it? Why am I going to go to jail?
You pique their interest.
That's a.
Because identity theft is up 36% year to date, and therefore, if somebody commits a crime on your name, you won't
I
find
get
out
that,
years
I
after.
get that, I get that, see? There's your public
But
speaking.
that's
I
how
do.
you their interest to say, I can help you stay out of jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you aware?
Okay.
All right, finding new customers online. Trish, right? So if you want to find new customers online, you need to first define your
I
customer.
have my customer defined.
Oh, so tell me your.
So my ideal customer is a woman who's got children in college, my age, between 45, 55, and she is busy with her own life and doesn't have time to nurture her kids while they're away at school. So she looks to a
Do
company
you have
like
any of
mine.
these customers?
Yes.
Okay,
I
so
do.
here's what I would
But
do.
the problem is their kids graduate in 4 years, so then I have to start over.
So you have to get new, let's say,
Basically, I have to start over every year,
All right,
every new school year.
all right, but that is your ideal
That's
customer.
my
so
ideal customer.
How much time have you spent with your ideal customer?
For, like, one-on-one, or, yeah, well, I mean, it's all online.
It's all online.
Yeah.
So here's, you would ask a lot of questions, so you want to find your customer. So here's, your matrix. So you have your customer online and offline, and if you're only doing online, you have visible mothers and invisible mothers. So you have a list of people or a market that you have visible online or invisible online. So in invisible online, you need to find out more about your customers, what they eat, what they dress, where they shop, everything about your customers. So you can now target where that customer is.
So I have to physically go there? No, that's
No,
not
spend
like
time.
stop them?
Even that mother customer of yours is online, but she would talk to you on the web, virtual meetings.
Right, but the problem is she cycles out. and
She
then
would
I-
talk to you on the phone, right?
I mean, I have quite a few offline
Yeah.
customers, but their kids go through college and then they're gone.
You have customers, right?
Right.
Would they talk to you?
Yes,
Okay, then talk to them.
I do.
I mean, do you have any?
Even
I
past
do.
college, people will
Right.
still have a need that you're.
But my niche is care
Maybe.
packages for college.
Maybe.
So I do other stuff beyond, but what I focus on are colleges.
Right, but when you find them, you want to spend more time knowing that mother. Give her a name, find out as much as you can about how she spends her day. Where does she shop, where does she eat, what is, everything about her.
Where's the parents of high
That's
school
why I
seniors?
say go to
Right,
Mhm.
well, that's what I'm saying, or like condoms for. Right.
The right prospect, again, finding the right prospect goes back to defining your prospect. So you want to sift, sort, and screen, you want to make sure that you qualify your prospect as much as you can. The fastest way to make more sales is sales prevention.
What?
Sales prevention is telling no to customers that you don't want.
That's hard, especially when you.
And I said, I'm not making money, I can't
Yeah.
supply every money through the door comes, when we said, there are times, we need to say, well, we're not a good fit.
There's such thing as bad business.
There
You
is,
have to remember.
but it's so hard, it's when a push comes to shove, it is so hard to be like, oh no.
It's hard,
That eye condition.
but it's not impossible.
It's not impossible,
But
because I've done it.
I've done it too.
I've done it, and as a matter of fact, I was in the top 15 for the state of Florida for Legal Shield for highest retention in business.
Because she
Because I
rejected bad customers.
Exactly. I'd rather not write the business if I know that they're gonna cancel by tomorrow and they just don't understand
The
how
value.
important and the value of the service. I say, you know
If
what?
they don't appreciate what you do,
Just
why should you
wait.
even do business with them?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
And I just want to add for Trish is referrals. can be a big source for those
Yeah,
wanting
I do get a lot of referrals.
So they've got friends who have still younger siblings
So
and they have brothers.
let's
and
go
sisters.
into your 3-year vision. You know, we want to make sure that, who wants to volunteer for your 3-year vision? Who wants to share their 3-year vision? I'm going to ask you a question, and then anybody who wants to volunteer their 3-year vision, you can volunteer, raise their hand. So if today was September 20th, 2019, okay, and I'm meeting you on that day, and we're looking back to today, what pictures do you see? What vision do you see? What has to have happened during that period, looking back to today, to make you feel happy about your progress, personally and professionally speaking? Who wants to volunteer?
So what would have to happen in the next?
If I could wave a magic wand, today's 2019, everything that you want, everything that you see has happened true. Forget about the obstacles, the challenges, the problems.
Okay, I have lost a lot of fat.
I don't see you, Fran.
I just got an assessment, I lost a lot of fat, I'm fit.
So this is 2019.
Exactly, I'm
Okay.
fit, and I'm earning a 6-figure income. And I'm traveling throughout the United States.
Don't
That's,
hold back, Carmen, you tell us, girl. What else you got?
You're already fit though.
So you're traveling throughout the US, you're earning a 6-figure income. What kind of income are you earning right now?
and I'm very fit.
A 5-figure income.
A 5-figure income?
Right?
Well, it could be a 4-figure, we don't know.
You're making 6-figure today?
No, what are you asking me?
Today, what's your position today?
Oh, no, I'm not in a 6-figure income. I want to be there.
So you're 5 figures, 4 figures, 3 figures, 2 figures.
Okay.
No figures, what do you got?
So you're 5-figure today, you want to travel throughout the United States, and you want to make 6 figures. Anybody else want to share their vision?
Jennifer had her hands up.
Oh, go
You
ahead.
go first, Trav. You go
Go
first.
ahead.
Okay. I'm very similar to Carmen. I mean, I would love to be making 6 figures, but I also would love to be doing $100 revenue a year in business. That would be a goal of $1 million a year.
1 million.
Did I say 100?
That's a number of zeros.
Past that.
And she did not have a glass of wine.
No, I have a sugar hacker now.
Okay?
Yeah, 1 million in business, and I'd like to have a really good work-life balance.
Okay. Like that.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know, people say it doesn't exist, but it must somewhere.
It does. I have 3 tools, and you can get there in 6 months.
Get out of here.
No, seriously.
I don't believe you.
No, I make it happen for everybody. You can see my testimonials. So
Okay.
everybody, you have a sheet with you, and this sheet, you know, you can write down on the back, you can write down notes and actions, and on the front, you can write down your 3-year vision and your 1-year breakthrough roadmap. So use this becomes your roadmap to go back. Now if you return this sheet back to me, I give you a folder that has quite a few tools that you can use, and you can also have, it has a work-life balance tool in it. So you gotta return this to me to get that, and you also get the book. And you can give me feedback on this.
Oh, okay.
All right, so start filling out. So if you got something out of what I was mentioning here, start writing down some notes. Sure. Everybody have it?
I don't. Do you know any statistics on, like I heard a statistic on NPR the other day that Americans work the most, and that
Absolutely.
we feel bad about taking vacation time.
Right.
That is so true.
I'm just generalizing, ladies.
I'm a
I
girl.
love vacation.
All right,
When I
so-
girl, I
I
need
just,
vacation.
I